Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios. I'm Brian Johnson, and we had kind of a violent day. We hit the bottom of a wave, I do believe. Right down here on the Dow, you can see it touching the 50-period moving average here on the 60-minute chart. And from there, it was takeoff. Rolled right back up into the highs back here, and then the rest of the day just kind of settled back into what only can be looked at as a pullback at this point. We got some preliminary job numbers. They were not bad at all. And coming into Christmas, could see that one more thrust to the upside. I've been talking about it, if you've been sticking around, the fact that it's very, very, very difficult to call tops. It's very difficult to call bottoms. And Elliott Wave is not good at either one of those. When something's in a nice trend and it's working nicely, Elliott Wave is a wonderful tool. But overall, it's very, very bad in corrections, tops, and bottoms. We are in kind of both. More importantly, we're right near a top. So Elliott Wave is somewhat useful at this point, but it's really, really not something you should be relying on for any kind of trading. I've actually heard and seen a bunch of things from subscribers and from friends who have sent me Elliott Wave counts. I've looked at all of them. Of course, one's bullish, one's bearish. It's always the way it goes. At any one time, there always seems to be a bullish and a bearish case. However, all of them have been revamping themselves over the past week, over and over again. Well, I think it's this. Well, I think it's that. Well, I'm not really sure. No, I really think we're here now. So the truth of the matter is, from a technical analysis standpoint, it was really been very simple if you just follow along. And that is, I was looking for breaks back, below 11,450 for the more aggressive, but definitely below this 50 and or 11,400. We didn't get that break today, nor did we really break above this level up here. So we're still in a limbo type of a state, waiting for breaks one way or the other. If you happen to go long, I would, I'm still more neutral to bullish coming into these last couple weeks of the year, being how it is Christmas. So if you happen to be long and are looking to hold, why not? Anything back up above this 11.5 or 11.550 area tomorrow, I think we could see that 11. We're really getting stretched, guys. 11.575 to 11.6. They're just, for me and my trading, there isn't a lot of point in trading to the long side up here. I really don't. I don't care about squeezing every last penny out of the market, because it's almost impossible to do. Sometimes you get lucky and you call just the top and just the bottom in just the right spot, but very rarely do you ever do that. So at this point, if we continue upwards, you guys can have at it to the long side, but 11.575 to 11.6 is my next overhead area of resistance. I just don't see a point in it. So I will be looking to take or get into some sort of short position, maybe coming into this last few weeks of trading, and more or less positioning myself for a little bigger move to the downside once next year hits. I just want to be in and ready for that. Now, if you want to play the market long, indices are great. I would recommend individual stocks. Some of them will move much better than the indices will. That would be where I would point my attention here coming into these last few weeks of trading. Dow above 1, 2, 3 closes over and above this 11,450-ish range. So this is turning into, similar to what we saw here, kind of a high base move up. High base could be a move up here. Anybody's guess, but that looks like where it's going. Next level's, of course, 11,600. NASDAQ, same thing here, coming right back to retest these highs, holding out and hanging out just above the 2,200 level. Did not get any breaks back below 2,190. No retests of 2180, so still things looking very good, very bullish from a NASDAQ standpoint. The daily as well, up above these levels. We never did actually completely retest these levels. Came pretty close, but never did actually touch these levels. So high base looks very similar to actually what Apple's showing us. Go figure, because it is a tech stock, but the charts a lot of times will look different than one another. Not in this case. They look very, very similar, and this thing's just consolidating for what looks like could be one last gasp of air to the upside before we see maybe a more major reversal. Still is a small potential for that bear case, by the way. I don't want everybody to think that I'm nothing but bullish going into India. I'm certainly not. We're really stuck in a very neutral position yet again, in this correction, in this last push up. This happens a lot at tops and bottoms. It gets very tricky and it gets very, could go up, could go down, wait for the break type thing, and we're in another one of those situations. Weekly, same type of thing, putting in a very flat candle right here. We'll see where that decides to finish by the end of the week. Maybe we see some sort of a drift to the upside and into the end of this week. Certainly wouldn't surprise me with Christmas. If we get any kind of break back down below these areas tomorrow, maybe we get the pullback before Christmas. Once again, a very maybe type of a situation. I'm still leaning more neutral to bullish. I'm not going to be trading the indices long. I just don't see a point in it up here. I really don't. S&P, same thing. Here was that run down and then the spring to the upside. And this is really, I know, where Elliottians are going to get stuck. I just know. This is showing a high up here. This looks like a very clear 1, 2, looks like a 3, a 4 before a 5 down. Or are we seeing an ABC correction with a 1, 2 before a 3 up? See what I mean? I can build you a case either way, and either one of them is strong. Of course, I'm a little bit more bullish because we have been able to hold up above these levels here. So unless something else comes out tomorrow that will move the market downwards, I really think I'm more apt to believe that we will come up and at least test and probably break this 1245, 1246-ish area on our way to that 1250 to 1260-ish area. That's stretching it, I know, but maybe 1250, 1260. Yeah, depending on if this is a 3 up, we'll see how long that 3 up is. Those things are impossible to know exactly where they're going to end. So when that's all said and done, though, then we could be looking at maybe a 1250, 1260, like I said, area. Daily here, you can see the move up, the pullback. Was really hoping for a touch of this 1227 area. We came within 5 points of it, never quite reached it. I really thought we might get a test of this thing on this particular move, and that would be today, and just never saw it. The markets decided to get a lot more bullish before that, and drag the markets back up again. So still watching for a breakup over these areas. Anything back below 1227 or into 1227, 1229-ish area that we talked about yesterday, be very cautious. Should act as very strong support coming back into these levels if we head downwards. Watch this very carefully if we do retest it for some reason tomorrow. SPX Weekly, same type of thing. We'll wait to see where this closes tomorrow, but still looking pretty good. Just holding its own, not moving much up or down for the week, but not down, and that's what the bulls want, is obviously not down. So no pullback yet, just a nice, flat, easy, simple-looking doji. VIX also moving down as well, down 3.29%. Here we are, back to square one. The VIX just, there's no panic down here in the market whatsoever. Things are just consolidating very nicely down here for the VIX, and the higher the market goes, the lower this thing can go. So maybe we see retests of the 16 area. Once again, another level to watch. If you're an options buyer, I like this lower blue line. If for some reason we get back down here, this is a good place to start looking to buy some options on whatever it is you choose. Apple 60-minute here consolidating. This is nothing but a mess. Look at this mess. Once again, Apple in a situation where for the last week or two has not gone anywhere, straight across, hovering in and or around that 320 area, which I've talked about forever, and that's this heavy overhead level of what was resistance is now acting as very nice support. Any launch from here take you upwards, maybe a push of 330. Potentially higher. It's really anybody's call at this point. It's all uncharted territory once we get above this high of 325. Weekly, same type of thing. Consolidation looks good and a slow creep up. That you can see we haven't moved a whole lot. Low down here was 297. That was 5 weeks ago. So we've moved literally 20 bucks in 5 weeks. Not much of a move on Apple. As you can see, there is a bit of a topping process going on in here, even with the beloved Apple. Be very careful with these trades over the next few weeks and make sure that you don't get caught in a landslide on Apple as it corrects. Usually when these things correct, they tend to correct hard and fast. This was kind of fat finger day. I won't count the wick, but if you just take these two candles right here, this is actually quite a move. This is about a $30 move in Apple in just these 2 days. So it'll be every bit as violent up here. We could see a $30, $40 move in even just a day or two. No problem. FAS 60 minutes, same thing, sitting right here on the support line, which is exactly what we talked about yesterday. Came down, tagged it, jump up, come down, tag it, and sit there for the end of the day. Daily never quite reached the 25 mark. That's a level to be watching for support, and the FAS doing the exact opposite as we hit this 1046 to 1050, 1045 to 1050 area and hold once, dive down, jump right back up at the end of the day here, and hold again. 1050 being the exact high. So you can see those levels holding very, very nicely. These are still tradable, but I'm only telling you to intraday trade them right now. Just sitting right up here at this overhead resistance makes me nervous. It can break one way or the other. Now, if we can get back up and over 1050, okay. Now maybe we can see a run to 1080, maybe even $11 before it's all over with. But I would not be gambling on the fact that it definitely will or anything like that. You make sure it makes its move before we see any kind of trading done within the FAS or FAZ. Just be very cautious with these here, okay? I'm going to be back with you again tomorrow. We are very, very neutral right here, guys. Breaks are pretty simple, though. I'm just going to call it below this 50 and above this 11,500. For those of you that are a little bit more aggressive, you can continue to trade this long. Why not? I have no problem with that. I'm actually going to be building a short position, which is what I've been discussing with my subscribers now for probably a week or so, last couple weeks, 2 weeks, last week. And we are getting ready for the pullback. All right, we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.